Howdy everyone, welcome back to Ride or Die. Today's video is going to be an overview of my Nintendo Switch 1 and 2 pickups from September of 2024 till now, so about a 14-month period of time. I wanted to kind of wait until I had enough games to make a video like this, and it turns out between the Switch 1 and 2 and the PS5 and the Xbox, I have an embarrassing amount of games, so I actually have to split these videos into two. So this video just covers the Switch 1 and 2 pickups. There'll be a separate video that covers the PS5 and Xbox pickups. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to start off with this Japanese copy of Fantasy Life I. This was a game that I heard a lot of things from my coworkers about, that they really enjoyed this game. Of course, they were playing it digitally because here in America it only came out digitally. It sounded really intriguing, so I ended up picking it up from Japan through Play Asia. And it's one of those games where if you put it into the Nintendo Switch, it will localize for certain regions. So it does play in English pretty flawlessly. I'm really enjoying it. I could spend this entire video explaining to you what this game is, but it's a lot of different things. It's almost like its own genre. It's sort of an RPG. It's sort of reminds me of Miitopia. It sort of reminds me of Animal Crossing. It's got all these different facets to it. And what the game is and does like keeps unfolding as you play it. I highly recommend that if you're looking for a game to like sink a bunch of hours into, that you look up some videos on this one and see if you think it's for you. My wife really enjoyed this game, so I'm excited to go back into it. Just talking about it has made me want to spend more time with this game. We've got Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. This one came out, I think, about a year ago at this point, and it just got me immediately. I don't know that I regularly finish any Zelda games. I'm a fan of the series, but I don't really prioritize them. I tend to kind of like middle out. I get kind of bored in the middle of them, and I stop playing them. This one hooked me all the way through. It's got this experimental mechanic where you can try different things. There's no end to different ways that you can like get out of a situation. You can do almost like a mage sort of setup where you have Zelda conjure different monsters that fight other monsters for you. I would play a direct sequel to this game tomorrow if they put it out. I would buy DLC for this game. I loved it. I thought it was phenomenal. And the art style, everything about it was 100% up my alley. This is a great game. I really, really enjoyed this. Metroid Dread is a game, and you might be able to see it's still in its shrink wrap, that I picked up because it was on sale for a good price. I'm not a huge fan of the Metroid series overall. They just are a little too spooky for me. I don't like games that are too difficult in terms of causing frustration, mostly because I'm busy like everybody else. If I play a game, I want to make marked progress in it, and sometimes in these sorts of games it can be difficult to do that. So I did pick this up, and based off of the reviews for Metroid Prime 4, which just came out, which I did not pick up, it seems like maybe this is the superior title, so I might end up cracking into this finally here in the next few weeks to just get that fix instead of playing Metroid Prime 4. Princess Peach Showtime is another pickup that I got for a great price. I don't know that I would 100% recommend this game. It is great probably for very young children, but it's sort of all over the place, and it's a little difficult to nail down exactly what they were going for with this game. It's interesting. It's unique. They've tried some new things, but I don't know that I would pay full price for it. I probably will go in and finish this up, but I don't know that I have like a ton of incentive to do that. Fate Samurai Remnant. This is a Koei Tecmo, what do they call those Masuo style, warrior style game. This was like 15 bucks. I enjoyed those titles. I played this a little bit. I want to play it some more. A lot of these games are actually games that I was just sort of curious about, and I knew that it was going to be more difficult to find these games as we continued into the Switch 2 era, particularly at good prices, and for them to be new titles. So games like this will start to show up used in all sorts of places, probably for bargain prices. I wanted to get it for a bargain price, but in new condition. The same can kind of be said of Sonic X Shadow Generations. I did not grow up with a Genesis. We were a Nintendo household. That's what I had to pick one platform. So monetarily speaking, my family could afford to have either a Nintendo and Super Nintendo or a Genesis. It was one or the other. So I didn't really get into Sonic games when I was younger. I haven't totally understood the appeal, but this game is a lot of fun, and it can be very difficult to, like, if you're not a Sonic person, there are so many misses in this franchise that you really have to do a lot of research to figure out, like, what's one that's worth picking up. And I heard a lot of good things about this one. It made me take the plunge, and it's true. I'm enjoying it. I think it's a lot of fun. I don't know that it like probably runs or looks the best on the Switch 1. I think they did a really devious thing and put out like a Switch 2 edition that I can't upgrade this to. I have to like buy an entirely new copy of it, which is ridiculous Sony behavior, or sorry, not Sony behavior, Sega behavior. But you know, that's part of why I've never really gotten into Sonic. So, still looking forward to getting through this one a little bit more. Sword Art Fractured Daydream. I wanted to just see a little bit more about this franchise. I've heard hit or miss things about this game. I haven't played this yet. I picked it up and then I immediately traveled for like 6 weeks. I've heard very mixed things about it, but I think it was like $8 or $10. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. Mario and Luigi Brothership. I picked this up at a discounted price on Woot because I had not heard amazing things about it. I haven't really wanted to play a game that would depress me, so I haven't really played this one yet. I will get to it eventually. I'm not a massive fan of this franchise. I haven't totally enjoyed the dynamic of them. I don't totally understand why this franchise has continued, other than Mario and Luigi being, you know, the main Nintendo kind of characters, while other franchises like F-Zero have just kind of like fallen by the wayside. I would easily take a revived franchise other than Mario and Luigi because there are no end of RPGs or RPG-like games in the Nintendo catalog. Speaking of RPGs, we've got Xenoblade Chronicles X. I got very close to buying this game for the Wii U. The prices kept climbing up, so I'm very glad that this came out for the Switch. I'm looking forward to playing it at some point. Again, just lots and lots of obstacles have been in my way over this last 14-month period, but I purchased a game like this more to like have into the future. I plan with a lot of these games to play them over the next decade, and a lot of this I'm picking up now because, you know, we're headed into a digital-only future, and I don't think it will be too long before there are no game sections in stores and things like that, and you won't be able to pick up games like this, particularly new. So that's why I got it. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. This is another pickup that I think was like $15. There's some real classics in here. There's X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, The Punisher. If you're a fan of that specific 90s era of arcade cabinets where you would go into an arcade and you'd be like, what is this game? I've literally never heard of this before. This is an excellent way to experience some of those games. It's a lot of fun. This is great to just play for like a few minutes at a time. I'm not very good at fighting games, but it's great to like get that arcade-like experience of just going around and like putting quarters into different random games and trying them out for a little while. I wouldn't spend a ton of money on these unless you're a hardcore fighting fan, but they're a lot of fun. Hello Kitty Island Adventure. This is a somewhat unorthodox pickup for me, but I've heard a lot of really good things about it from my coworkers, mostly that it's a Animal Crossing-like cozy game This was $15. It recently got an upgrade to Nintendo Switch 2 that fixes a bunch of issues, and par for the course with a lot of these Nintendo Switch 2 updates. The update is $10. So if I want to pay $10, I can play this on a Nintendo Switch 2 resolution and have a Nintendo Switch 2 game. So for $15, it was kind of worth it to do that. I'm probably going to get into this one over my upcoming break for winter, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. I don't know that this is going to hook me up to an Animal Crossing level. And here in January, we have the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Animal Crossing coming out. So who knows how long this will stay in rotation, but it seems like fun. No Man's Sky. I have bought No Man's Sky 3 times now. I initially pre-ordered it on the PC and played it there. I bought it for the Xbox because it looked incredible on the Xbox. And then I bought it for the Switch because it had a free upgrade to the Switch 2 edition where it also looks phenomenal. This game is an amazing game to like check back in with every few months or every few years. There's always something new. They're always adding new aspects to it. You could easily probably just play this game. Like if you wanted to buy like a forever game, this is probably one of the closest to it. It's pretty light on story, but there is story there if you want to have it. It's just a really unique experience, and there's really nothing like it. At this price, I think this was probably $15, $20, something like that. You really can't go wrong. Mario Strikers Battle League. I bought this because I enjoyed some of the older Mario Strikers games. What I learned in playing this is that it's not necessarily for me at the age that I am now. And as an adult, I'm happy to have this. I did get this at a pretty good price, but this is a little bit more for the collection than I expected it to be. I thought I'd have a little bit more fun with it. It's just, it turns out that this is not the type of game that I'm interested in at this point in my life. Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption just got a free upgrade to Nintendo Switch 2, so like a few of these other games, I picked up this physical copy for the Switch 1 so that it could be automatically upgraded to the Switch 2 version. They put out a patch that gives it 4K graphics that I think overhauls some of the textures and things like that, but is a little bit between like light and heavy in terms of like the actual remaster capabilities of it. Red Dead Redemption is one of my favorite games of all time, and it has my favorite moment in a video game that I've ever experienced, maybe in any piece of media, period. If you have not played Red Dead Redemption, I highly recommend that you do. This is a much more fast-paced and a little bit more arcadey experience than Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a little bit more of a life sim. There's a lot more depth to Red Dead 2. If you want to have a little bit more story at the forefront and more of a classic Western setting, Red Dead 1 is probably the way to go. And you can pick this up relatively cheap. This was a life-changing experience for me. I basically got back into video games once I finished playing this, and I played it late on the Xbox 360, so I'm happy to own it again and have it on, up till now, the favorite console that I've ever owned, which is the Switch 1. And then finally, we're getting into our Switch 2 pickups, and there's only 3 of these, so we're going to be wrapping things up pretty soon here. We're going to start off with the order that I got these in, which is Mario Kart World. Sadly, Mario Kart World is a great game, but not a great $80 game. They have not justified the price tag on this at all, in my opinion. I played this for a few weeks. I stopped playing it. I would not say that this is a crucial pickup at this point. I would not say that you have to go get this game, which is really weird to say because it is the flagship launch title, but it's not a flagship launch title like Breath of the Wild or, I don't know, it just doesn't have the long-lasting appeal that I think they thought that it would. And part of that is because it seems like it's unfinished, like there's a little bit more that's going to come out. and they needed to kick up a development pipeline on this game where they started patching and adding new features, new modes and stuff, and they just haven't done that as of yet. So we're all just kind of waiting for them to make this a really great game, but they haven't done it. And sort of dropping the ball here, Nintendo. You really haven't justified why this should have been $80. This would be a great game for $60, but not for $80. Donkey Kong Bonanza. Donkey Kong Bonanza, I would say, is probably the should get title on the Switch 2 at this point. So here in December of 2025, if you're looking for a crowd pleaser, this is probably it. It's I was thinking about it the other day as like an ADHD simulator. It is just like a wild and crazy game. Unfortunately, I played like 60% of this game, and then I stopped and I played through the entirety of Astro Bot, which I think is a better game than this. It's certainly a more polished game. And I absolutely loved Astro Bot. I thought it was great. It was maybe the most flawless game I've ever played. So I've recently gone back to this game, and I'm at about the 80-90% complete mark on it. And unfortunately, some of its flaws have started to kind of show through, especially in comparison to Astro Bot, which is so highly polished. This game is sort of manic. It has an art style that is heavy on information. There's a lot of detail. There's a lot of stuff happening. It's somewhere between the visual style of the SNES, Donkey Kong Country games, and the DK64 platforming style. It moves very fast. This game has actually made some people sort of sick. So it is a very unique title. It is something, to me, that is really unique for Nintendo just in general. I enjoy it quite a bit, but it is definitely a game that I think you can see the roots of it having been developed for the Switch 1 on, like, right at its forefront. This, to me, looks like a slightly souped up Switch 1 game. And that is sort of the bummer of this current moment in the Switch 2 life cycle. This looks like a Switch 2 game, but isn't as feature-rich or as packed an experience as you would expect. This is a feature-rich and packed experience, but doesn't necessarily look 100% like the Switch 2 graphical showcase you would expect. So it's a little bit of a letdown in that department. I can definitely see how this started off as a Switch 1 game. But I do, at this point, recommend this game out of the Switch 2 games that I've played over just about anything else that's out there. And then finally, we've got Pokemon Legends Z to A Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. This is another thing where you can absolutely see the Switch 1 versus Switch 2 little bit of polish that they added to it. I will make no bones about the fact that I don't like this game. I'm not alone in this. I maybe will go back to it, but I really like Pokemon Legends Arceus, however you pronounce that. And so this was a big letdown. The fighting in it is pretty good. It's pretty fun, but the rest of it just feels... it kind of felt like when you turn in homework and you're just like, well, I don't have enough time to, like, you know, do all of the things really well, so I'm just going to do one part pretty well. So they did the fighting to a degree. They polished the fighting to a degree that it's pretty good. And then everything else is just not. And so I don't slight anybody that thinks this game is good. It's not for me at the end of the day. I'll probably keep going back through it. I'll be very honest, if it wasn't a Pokemon game, I probably would have just returned it. So a little bit of a down note to end the video on, but those are the pickups that I've made over these last 14 months. I have picked up a lot of the Switch 1 games that I want to own at this point, so I'll be picking up fewer and fewer of those. I've been very vocal that I will not be buying any of the game keycard games, so it might be a long time. I may never be able to do another one of these Switch haul videos where I just talk you through the purchases that I've made. But yeah, it's been an interesting experience. It's been an interesting transition. As I said before, as we go further and further into the Switch 2 lifespan, the Switch 1 physical titles are going to just start disappearing. And in fact, I think just physical games altogether are going to start disappearing. So if you have titles that you're interested in, this is the time to pick them up. If you like this video, if you could go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this in the future, go ahead and subscribe. Otherwise, I think that's going to do it for me. And thank you here for watching to the end.